Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. Today is Saturday. It's a long, long weekend. And I hope as many of you as possible can get out and actually enjoy the country while we still can. Now, I'm not saying feel free to go fishing or camping and not expect to pay a fee, because you absolutely will. We're no longer allowed to go off-road. You can't find an old road and take your car down it and try out your Jeep or your Land Cruiser or whatever you may have without searching high and low and then making sure you pay a fee. Because this is the home of the free and the land of the brave, right? So that entire, to me, now don't take offense, but to me, that entire saying is moot. It is no longer the home of the free and the land of the brave, or whatever it is, land of the free. It doesn't matter. Neither one of those things are accurate anymore. They did the Bundy Ranch. They allowed the Bundy Ranch standoff to occur and then the Malheur standoff to occur. Now, for you guys that are newer subscribers, you probably don't know, but you can go back in the videos and check. When the Bundys took over the Malheur refuge and put out a call to arms to all patriots, not only did I pack up my Jeep and get ready to go, I put a video out asking who wanted to go with me. Once I did that, I got phone calls from military and veterans from all over the country, even big YouTubers, saying, do not go. It's a trap. It's a trick. And it turns out they were right. The reason I'm bringing this up is that entire thing was to gauge how many people would actually answer a call to arms. The entire thing was staged. You know what I mean? All the players, everybody involved, even the people that were there reporting for YouTube were involved. That was a gauge to see where America was at. And from there, they've discovered that barely anyone would bother to even stand up or make a video or anything. They gauged the reaction of the country in real time using their information network that they set up. They gauged our reaction and have realized that they can pretty much do whatever they want. Because since that event occurred last year, look what's been going on in the country. We keep having, incident after incident, people running over people, shootings that don't make any sense. Every single thing they do, they don't even try anymore. 9/11 was a tough one because I recall standing in front of the television. I was listening to Howard Stern because he was in the building right next door, and I was watching CNN muted. And I remember shedding a tear when I watched those two towers come down. And little did I know that this was an enormous satanic ritual where they were bringing down the two towers only to replace them with one. It's the wheat and the tares on a grand scale, which is also why they blew up the Pentagon. But when that occurred, I didn't realize it. I was just like everybody else, shedding a tear, and I called my recruiter and I said, I want to re-enlist. Right there and then. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, I had been in trouble with the law, and it would have been more difficult. And I think because of my age, because in 2001, I forget how old I was, 15, 16, 17 years ago, right? 16 years ago? I was 30. Oh my, I was 34-ish. So I guess my point is, get out and enjoy it now while you can, because they are without a doubt planning to take this country down. We're the only thing that stands in the way. Everyone, they won't take America. It used to be there was a blade of grass behind, there was a gun behind every blade of grass. Well, it's still true to some point, but the thing is with the predictive programming that they've done on television, through politics, through talking heads, CNN, MSNBC, all of these things, even the people that would stand up won't see it coming when it happens. At all. Do you see what I'm saying? They won't see it coming when it happens. When it happens, the powers that be are going to make the people that would normally stand up to defend the country turn on people like me and you. How crazy is that? And that is without a doubt exactly, entirely, completely what they're going to do. Anyone that thinks anything otherwise just ain't awake and they're not paying attention. Because everything they would have to do and to take down an entire country and to instill their one world order, their new world government and their one world religion, every single one of those things has happened. They've done everything like clockwork. There's people that believe that there's a flat earth being covered up, which I tend to agree with, but they also think that everything else is fine. You know, the news, the media pushing World War III all the time. North Korea, Donald Trump, bombs, nukes, world wars, EMPs. They don't think that that's real. They think that's fear porn. Well, who's putting out that fear porn? It's the media. It's the politicians. It's all of them. These are the same people that somehow think that Donald Trump was here to save us, that somehow Donald Trump managed to slip past the goalie, and he's not one of them. Let me ask you, have you ever tried to be, in your entire lifetime, have you ever tried to make $1 million, let alone $1 billion, let alone make $1 billion a couple times in one lifetime? The only way you can do that is if you're in. Donald Trump is in the club, and that's all there is to it. Today I just went and bought a made-in-China compressor, and I had to return the other made-in-China compressor because it didn't work. And you know why? Because it's made in China. It used to be, when I was a kid, my father's a veteran, I'm a veteran, my grandfathers were veterans, just how it is. We always bought made in America, made in America. It is whittled down so far where that is such an almost impossibility. If you buy something made in America, it costs 3, 4, 5 times the price. And the dollar, the currency isn't worth anything. Now, finding something made in Japan is a benchmark. That's like, oh my God, made in Japan, that's good quality. When I was a kid, made in Japan was a joke. Now everything's made in China because our politicians are also the corporate leaders of the world. They jumped into politics to sell out our entire industry, our infrastructure in the United States. That's why there's no jobs. That's why there's nothing you can build with. There is no turning this ship around. There is the only way that we could ever save America is for a massive revolution, and it just ain't happening. It just ain't happening. The intelligence apparatus of the United States is enormous. They have infiltrated YouTube. They have infiltrated patriot groups. They have infiltrated militia. They have infiltrated everything, and the time to stop them has passed. And if you want to keep looking into what is truth, if you really want to be a truther, the only thing you're ever going to come down to at the very, very end of the day, that there is indeed a cosmic battle between good and evil, and there is a God, and there is a Satan. Hasatan. That's all there is to it. I always believed in God growing up, but I did not truly find Jesus Christ until I hit the road looking for someplace to baptize me. I drove all over the United States aimlessly for, I think, about 2 months. And I finally found a place down in Florida, in the middle of nowhere, a little white church with about 30 people from the Everglades, from the dirty South. And I was born again. And that is the only refuge. Our fellow Americans are not going to stand together with us when the time comes, because they're not going to see it happen. It's going to be just like 9/11, but on a more massive scale. That's all there is to it. Anyone that wants to look at that as fear porn, you're part of the problem. I don't write the headlines. I don't own the media. I'm not the one showing terror, 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 terror. We're going on over a dozen years here. You know what I'm saying? It's absolutely amazing. They bought the food corporations. They, just like Kissinger said, food is a weapon. They bought all the food. And they bought all the media. So the only way to get the word out is on YouTube. And guess what? They own that too. And they're slowly, without panicking all the sheep, they're slowly tightening the noose around our necks. And pretty soon, we're not going to be able to communicate. That's just a fact. It's already become really difficult now, but it's still doable. Just like traveling the country. As long as you can pay for gas, registration, insurance, excise tax, tolls, and every other thing. If you can do that, you can still travel freely. And I hope you're able to. If not, take your shoes off, walk outside, stand on some grass, and try to connect. Because we just don't do that anymore. I hope this made sense. Maybe it didn't. It's just something that was on my mind. There's a lot of fake truthers out here, people. I'm telling you. The people that are showing you all NASA's scopes and talking about the CMEs coming in and talking about explosions on Jupiter and all. That's all nonsense. These people are using the tools of the exact same establishment that's trying to destroy us to give you information. Using remote cameras from all over the world. Who owns those cameras? .gov. Who owns NASA's scopes? Who owns all that stuff? And I know, 6, 8, 12 months ago, I was looking at them too until I had an epiphany. The mark of a truly smart person is to be able to understand that everything that you knew was wrong and to accept it and move on, which is what I've done. And apparently many of you have done. I appreciate all the emails. I appreciate all the comments. I appreciate all the messages. As you know, I've gone out of my way to try to return as many as humanly possible, even if it's only a few words. I hear what you guys are saying. I will make some t-shirts, I guess. And I want to hear who you want me to have on the next live stream. The next couple of live streams. Leave it in the comments. And if you have an idea for a t-shirt, because, I've gotten over 500 messages saying they want a t-shirt. I'll figure it out, I guess. I don't know. At any rate, Richie from Boston. Like, share, subscribe, or don't. I'm out.
Can't remember when his son died or when he served as vice president. Of course, that's exactly who he is, and it's on display every day. But Joe Biden is also a